Hello and welcome to Warblog. For some reason my ad blocker, I have ad blocker on my site on Firefox. It's not working anymore and I get all these stupid adverts. News strategy game. Spell. What the advert at the bottom looks like. River combat. Looks like a pontoon bridge. Okay. Well, I'm just going to play this one. I haven't really put as much thinking. Look at these adverts. Look at that, you can click them individually. What's this? Do I want paving slabs? Is that what I think I want? Or some? This is the bifolding doors. I know that. Paving slabs, paving slabs. Popular. Jackets for men. Quite often I get sort of like dating for idiots. Honestly, maybe it's... I was looking at this the other day and I was thinking, is that actually any good? I mean, it's a nice picture and all of a sudden, but it's sort of, you know, if you were to sort of put that in a low-range supermarket shop as the low-range jacket, would you be surprised? Probably not. I think we've gone into a new world where clothes and things, they're not what they used to be, when clothes were difficult to make, just after the war maybe, and wool was you know, everything was woolen, and anything above that would be, you know, nice to have. What's this? Trading 212, €0 commissie, aandeel en handel. Capital in gevaar voorwaarden zijn van toepassing. Capital in gevaar, I don't know. Voorwaarden being in toepassing. I don't know what that means. Mini cruises vanaf €49 per persoon. Book nu. Adverts. I don't know why the adverts appearing now. It's really upsetting me because they're rubbish. Look at all these places I could fly to. I could fly to a roller coaster. I could fly to a big city with a huge tower. That's got to be Dubai, isn't it? This has got to be Paris. Why is Dubai cheaper than Paris? Maybe this is somewhere else. Toronto. What's this? Downtown Grimsby. I'm not here to look at the adverts. That's an entire 3 minutes of adverts. I'm happier now. I'm just doing the videos really on catch up. This is sort of like an interesting game because I've been stumped for the last month basically on things. And so I've been doing things blind. You know, I've been doing things without that sort of that impetus of really wanting to do it. I've been doing things sort of, instead of being ahead of the curve, I've been behind the curve. And it's so much different when you just really don't even have the time to do anything. But this is sort of an interesting one. I mean, all the others are sort of, you can see my YouTube channel, I'm not doing the frequency I had, but this is sort of an interesting game. The thing is, I still couldn't really get my head around it. I mean, just to maybe put it into perspective. No, I've already put play now. Let's go back. When you get into play mode, in case you're watching this as a sort of a perspective play, you don't get adverts apart from the one at the bottom. There's no advert here, and maybe I can even take that one off. I don't earn any money from the adverts. I think it's a conspiracy to put the adverts on so you can suddenly see how crap they look. Because, of course, I'd never noticed before. I just slap the adverts in, and because that's sort of what you do. And on the news sites, and look at the news sites, they're just crap. They're just full of adverts, so much so that you can't actually see the news. It's really crap. Anyway, I'm going to just play this. Now, the thing is, this is basically a Pakistan invasion of the Kashmir area, and they basically take this place and then this place. And it's a big tank battle. It says the biggest, but I don't think it is the biggest. I think there's another one that claims to be bigger. But there's a lot of forces. And I mean, obviously I'm not going to get to play this because it's actually a big game. They're all stacked up underneath. In that one there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now look at all that. That's all artillery. I had to tone the Pakistani artillery down. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 units. They got tons of artillery, and I think that they could probably these. I meant to put them there, but I missed. I couldn't bother to change it, so that's why they're there. Obviously, the thing is to take this place out, and it's no small order really, and they're all sort of entrenched. But historically, what happened, to some extent, it was a major tank battle, and so they came up here like that, and through here like this. But the Indian tanks, which are here, here, and here, sort of came down, and there was this sort of confrontation. This is the light tanks, but they're basically self-propelled guns, and there's 3 of those. And it was a big sort of tank battle, but I think because it's a hex game, it runs into the sort of the problem that it's just a numbers game, and you won't really necessarily be able to sort of not play. I mean, there won't be too many heroic defences in this place. So let's maybe start moving something. I mean, even just that, it's sort of like, why? What do I want to really do? I mean, obviously taking this place out would be the first point of order, so to speak. And there's 16, there's 24 in there. They're going to be doubled because they're dug in, they're entrenched. So that's going to be 48. And they're going to, I think, doubled again because they're in a town. So that's going to be 96. So it's not a walkover. But I think if you start to actually apply this artillery, and now the thing about this is the artillery's got longer range. This has got a 9. So if you've got, look at this, it's got 8 range. Well, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this is different to a lot of the games that I've written in the past where they have 4s. 4 is the general range, just because that's the sort of way it seems to fit. But in this one, I've chosen for the larger ranges because I think it's a more tactically focused game with smaller, I think that it's still about, distance between there and there is still about 10 miles. So, well, maybe it's not, I don't know, maybe I've got these too far, but it seems to me that it warranted slightly larger ranges. A lot of this is SP, self-propelled, so they've got the thing of 6. A lot of this stuff is field artillery. And when they've got a lot of it, it's, when you say sort of field artillery, well, I think the whole idea is that they just sort of plonk it down and it doesn't really move. So again, we've got like almost 100 points in there. So we're going to have to get hundreds and hundreds to actually defeat that. But I think the thing is, the artillery is going to basically whittle that down. So you'd have a sort of artillery barrage in the first instance, and to some extent, I don't really want to start moving things because, to play this properly, I'd like to sort of think, well, what is my strategy going to be? I mean, because obviously the thing is, I could just borrow all of this. I could just take it and just pile it all the way around here. I could get to this, this, and this, and it's just sort of like, I don't know. There's just something lacking in that approach because it's very much sort of more that schoolboy thought of just chucking everything in, but to some extent that would be the way to do it, or that would be what to do. Another approach maybe would be to sort of commit, say, 200 points to get a 2-to-1 odds, and then try and play it like a grown-up. I always sort of approach it like that because it makes it sound a lot clearer as to what you're trying to achieve, and not play it with all of this going against that to get the odds, but to committing to, say, establishing a developing front line. So let's actually just reload that. So for example, what I'm really trying to say is I will commit something to take in these 3 hexes, and then maybe do just wait until I've done the barrages, until I can get the odds down to satisfy the an invasion with the 3 hexes that I've got here, whilst at the same time using my armour to come around and do a similar sort of thing on these 2 fronts, like that, with the intention of somehow performing a similar sort of action on here, but contending with these. So actually using my armour to contend with the opposing player's armour, which is going to be, as we know, this and this, as well as this, and maybe sort of coming around and trying to take out all of this stuff before that, and so sort of actually logically splitting my forces up. So with that in mind, I mean, what have we got here? Okay, so let's sort of see what I can actually do. So it's cost me 1.5 to get through some of this scrub. Now the thing is, I could move into that hex there, but I don't want to play it like that. This unit, which is the 24th Cav of the 5th Brigade, is essentially tasked with taking, fulfilling this front line here. So there's another 24 Cav there. Now these are actually all regiments, and I split them up into 3 so that you can split your regiments up to sort of do what I'm doing here, and that's creating that line. So now I've got, in a military sense, a front line there. Now it puts them at a little bit of an exposure to their artillery, but I've only got 3 lots of artillery. I don't think we're really going to get a massive counter-attack from these units that are all entrenched. And this sort of makes sense to me, because now I've got a front line, and I can sense that front line as a sort of form of power, a form of force moving through here. And already this unit is sort of isolated and cut off. I mean, it has to go through the zone of control. There's no sort of like command structure in this. It's sort of a stupid advert. Look at it. I'd completely forgotten I had adverts, and now my ad block's not working. It's doing my head in. What are you looking at? You're looking at me. Trading 212. I mean, what could 212 possibly mean? Okay. Anyway, so we got this stuff over here, which is the 6th Lancers. And again, I want to sort of try and come around this front. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could do a line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. I don't want to get too close to this. So basically, I've now put this sort of behind my front lines and created a line of force. As I said, probably quite tiresomely like that. And that makes me feel a lot happier about it all. But since we've only got about a minute left, I'm going to just see how much artillery fire I can get on here. Because I suspect, and this is another one that I really don't like, choose a tank. And these tanks are spinning around. I mean, this just demonstrates the level of modern warfare games that we've got on the internet. I mean, there must be a conspiracy of idiots deliberately trying to insult our intelligence by presenting a choose a tank. I mean, obviously it's a really nice looking modern tank. I don't know if it's a real one. And they're spinning around like a bunch of idiots. Delta Wars. Why have you stopped? It just doesn't make sense. And I get a feeling that with all this artillery, I'm just going to blow this away. Let's see what one does. 0.9, yep. We'll probably be able to rout them. to... Anyway, I've only got 6 seconds left, so if that interests you, so